announcement of a new anti-tax avoidance package should be the resolution to a very big problem. The question is, with 28 states involved, will they all follow the rules and regulations? Thierry, we're currently faced with a situation where multinational companies are not paying all the tax that they are owed. There's been an announcement that there's a new anti-tax avoidance package. Can you briefly explain this package for us, please?
Yeah, so the EU Commission is now proposing anti-tax avoidance measures. It's sort of following up on the work of the OECD and its BEPS project, anti-tax avoidance project. The EU is proposing a very far-reaching package of measures which will impede companies using low-tax companies. So it will attack much of the tax planning which is currently being in place by multinational companies in Europe. It will be more difficult to leave the EU or to leave a specific jurisdiction and to move elsewhere. There will be anti-exit tax provisions, and there will also be a general anti-avoidance rule, which is sort of a catch-all provision which will catch, in the eyes of the Commission, all of the abusive tax planning that multinational companies are engaged in.
And you mentioned the avoidance rule there. So corporate tax avoidance on average costs the global economy around 240 billion euros, which is a massive amount. So is it realistic that this can be resolved anytime soon?
I don't think everything will be resolved, but with the global initiatives from the OECD and now the initiatives in the EU, I think it will be very difficult for multinational companies going forward with the same level of aggressive tax planning. Tax planning will have to be more realistic and will have to be more in line with where do we locate our people, where do we have manufacturing, where do we manage our businesses. And it will be very difficult to say that all of that is happening in some nice sunny island with no tax. So I think this it's a massive problem. The anti-avoidance package is also a massive tool to address that problem, and it will have huge implications for all multinational companies across Europe.
Absolutely, and in a 28-state insurance, there's a quote here from a member of the European Commission which says this requires coordinated European action, avoiding a situation where there are 28 different approaches in 28 different member states. Now this is really interesting, because could it get to a point that some state members are more accepting of this than others, and there are some that are more resilient to this?
Yeah, obviously there will be a number of member states that are more resilient to this. And the question is, in tax matters you need an anonymous decision. The question is whether they can reach that within the EU on this tax package. But the political climate is very much in favor of such measures, and there is a public outcry. If you look in the newspapers, people are very concerned about aggressive tax planning by multinationals. So I think the political climate is there to reach an agreement between 28 member states on far-reaching anti-abuse measures.
Well, Thierry, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you, Jessica.
Well, that's all for myself and Thierry, but for all the latest Dukoscopy updates and exclusive interviews, do keep clicking back. Goodbye for now.